capturing the heart of a generation and the soul of a small town. It's a powerful story from a local voice. Those of us here on Delmarva, especially me, are familiar with the town of Ocean Pines, a quiet residential community nestled in northern Worcester County. It's the backdrop for a novel that chronicles a coming-of-age tale that celebrates the nostalgia of the 90s. The novel is written by the author we have here this afternoon. This is Dan O'Hare from Salisbury. Welcome to DelmarvaLife. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So before we get started about the book, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I was supposedly the first person born in Ocean Pines. I don't know if that's true, but I was in a parade when I was 15 for it. I moderated the 50th anniversary history panel a few years ago.
Okay.
I asked anyone to come forward and take this mantle off, away from me, but no one did. So yeah, I'm still going with that. That was the first person born there. But I lived in Ocean Pines till I was 18, and then went to school, and then dropped out of school, and sort of, bummed around a little bit. Went and lived in Ireland for a while, Colorado, New York City, and then in 2014 moved back here full time.
Okay,
so, yeah.
That's really, really cool. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about this book, which is titled Water Dressed in Brown?
Sure. So Water Dressed in Brown is a lyric from an Ani DeFranco song called Out of Habit. And the song is how, the butter just melts out of habit. The toast isn't even warm, and the coffee is just water dressed in brown. So there are a few different themes in the book, and one of them is change, and how important change is, and the other one is, are we going to do what we're set out to do in our life, or are we going to break away from that? And or are these characters, I guess, going to break away from it? And so each character has to sort of deal with their own experience like that. And coffee is very important to the book. Sort of thematically, it's in the book a lot. There's a lot of big conversations that happen over coffee. And this was before Starbucks was ubiquitous.
Right.
So that's actually sort of a thing in the book. The time is really important in the book as well. So you're constantly, it's before cell phones, it's before computers, it's before Starbucks. So it's sort of set in a little bit of a different world, but still very recent, and so very familiar.
Of course, I remember the days of my mom wrapping the telephone cord around her arm all the time back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
You were telling me before we started that music is very important. It's a vehicle throughout the book. Can you talk about that? Why is that?
Yeah. So these are all teenagers, and it covers a period of about 5 years, but mostly in their teenage years, and teenagers listen to music. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like that in that time, especially, there wasn't an internet. Like all you did was listen to music with your friends. I mean, people didn't even really watch TV anywhere near as much as they do now. And so music was incredibly important to everyone's life then, but specifically at this time, music was changing. It was leaving behind the 80s, going to the 90s, the alternative scene was coming in. And musicians like Ani DeFranco, Tori Amos is another musician who has a whole chapter to herself in the book, and then Pearl Jam, he's got a whole chapter, there. So because the change is such a big theme in the book, music sort of symbolizes that change throughout. I actually made a playlist on Spotify. It's about 4.5 hours long. So, yeah, there's a lot of, and my editor made me cut about 100 mentions of music out. So there was far too much music in the book to begin with.
No, that's cool. But I like that little tie-in. That's really, really cool. Yeah. If you were talking to readers, what is the one thing that you would like them to take away from this book?
Oh, I think, my favorite thing is when I do talk to people who have read it is what their favorite character is, because there's a bunch of different characters, and I always want to know, who they liked or whatever, and I think I know something about that person based on what characters they like, which is kind of fun. But my favorite thing is that when people finish it, a lot of times they will tell me something like, "I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be happy or sad." Like, I don't know. But it is. I think in a lot of ways it's a feel-good book. The reason I wrote it in the first place is because I wrote the book that I wanted to read, and I was kind of tired of reading modern fiction where everything was desperate or horrible or sad, or I thought you could build drama and excitement in a novel without making things awful. And so I tried to sort of put a positive feel good, it sounds like a terrible word to use with literature, but I think people really truly enjoy reading the book because it makes them feel good when they read it.
That's awesome. So if anybody wanted to grab the book, where can they get it?
It's at Capriccio's in Ocean Pines. It's at Buzzed Word in Ocean City. It's at Barnes & Noble in Salisbury. Soon I think it will be in a couple other local bookstores, and you can get it online at Amazon, of course.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Dan?
Hey, such a
thank
pleasure.
You so much.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.